My name is Tom Cramer from Stanford University, and you can probably still hear me. Thank you very much for having us. Because IIIF is a community-based framework, I will be one of many speakers today, and actually I will introduce very briefly the other speakers for today. Michael Keller, who may not be speaking but will wave, is the chairman of the IIIF Executive Committee and the University Librarian at Stanford University. I am Tom Cramer, Assistant University Librarian at Stanford University and the founder of IIIF. Sheila Rabin is the IIIF Community and Coordinations Officer. Stuart Sneidman is my associate at Stanford University and manages the Mirador technical development for the Mirador project. Jack Reed is a software developer at Stanford University. And Mike Appleby is with the Yale Center for British Art and one of the IIIF specification editors. Each of us an expert in different facets of IIIF. When we speak about IIIF, what do we mean? And if we break down the definition, we're talking about international means global. Image relates to image-based resources, not just pictures, but any information resource that uses images as a primary information carrier. So books, images, manuscripts, newspapers, maps, musical scores, and more. By interoperable, we mean things that work together well, things that are simpatico, things that don't need extensive engineering or discussion in order to cooperate. And by framework, we mean multiple things that work together. A set of application programming interfaces, or APIs, software, a set of content that is exposed via these APIs, and perhaps most importantly, a community of people who are working together to advance interoperability. So, images, in addition to text, are one of the most important information carriers on the internet. They hold information on the web for everything from museum pieces to books, manuscripts, newspapers, maps, art, architecture, music. For most things that we work with in cultural heritage and research institutions, an image is a vital component. But image delivery on the internet is a challenge. It's technologically a challenge, and it's expensive and hard to do. Image delivery is, if you are providing information on the web, is hard. Image delivery is often slow. It is idiosyncratic from site to site or resource to resource. It is often disjointed. If you are working with images from multiple different sites, the experience and what you can do with images at different sites varies greatly. And perhaps most importantly or most tragically, image delivery is often an ugly and unpleasant experience for researchers and for end users. And we all suffer because of it. Institutions that are seeking to provide their content, image-based resources on the web, have to make it up in an individual way. Software providers have to write code for many different sites that varies from site to site, and users are forced to cope with these differences and unevenness. So the theory of IIIF is, what if there were a better way to deliver images? Here are some examples of how IIIF has already improved image delivery on the web in the last 5 years. Deep zoom with large images is something that most cultural heritage institutions have to deal with. In this image, this is a Japanese tax map from the 19th century and is quite extensive. We imaged this at Stanford University using more than 200 shots. The master file is more than 1 gigabyte large. How do you deliver this effectively to researchers on the web? And here you can see the actual physical dimensions of the map that we imaged. It is approximately 2 meters tall by 3 meters wide. That is our lead photographer at Stanford standing there, Wayne Vanderkill. He is about 2 meters tall in height. He's about this tall. So this image can now be delivered via the Stanford University catalog and the web via IIIF down to a mobile phone, and it just works. It's quite fast and an impressive experience. When researchers use information on the web, they often need to be able to cite and to share it. With images, that's typically to a file that's on the internet. With IIIF, you can cite and share images, including regions of interest. This is an example from the University College of Dublin, which is using IIIF to display a full image, identify a region of interest, in this case the drummer, and then through capturing just the coordinates produces a separate resource that is related to the original file but highlights the region of interest. This is an example of comparing images from the Wellcome Foundation, the Wellcome Trust. They deal with biomedical and life sciences information. In this case, these are computed tomography scans of the head of a seal. Using IIIF, you can bring up two images side by side and actually manipulate them, pan, zoom, and even invert the colors for finer detail and finer comparison. With IIIF, you can also compare images across multiple sites. Here is an example of Shakespeare-related portraiture from both Oxford and Stanford University. In this case, the image from Stanford is being dragged in real time into a comparison viewer called Mirador so that it can be viewed side by side with the image from Oxford. If you continue to look for other resources related to Shakespeare, the Yale Center for British Art has made all of their resources available by IIIF. And in the same environment, you can suddenly compare real-time images from 3 different institutions, again, with the ability to zoom, to pan, to annotate. The study in modern day also involves studying things that belong together logically and in some cases physically. In this example of a 16th century French manuscript, the miniature, the illustration has been removed from the surrounding page. These have been digitized and are held by 2 separate institutions in France. Using IIIF, members of the Biblissima project have actually brought this manuscript back together. They have virtually reconstructed it by bringing the images from the 2 separate sites and putting them into the same digital object. This is a live demo from the Biblissima project. IIIF makes all of these capabilities function now. The main theory behind IIIF is that information, the way we have traditionally treated information, is as silos, either information silos or technology silos, with very little ability to share content or applications across different providers. It is similar to this picture of grain silos, where content is isolated into its own silo, and to get access, there's a very thin catwalk across the top. Application programming interfaces, or APIs, enable reuse of content with multiple different types of technology. In this example, you might have a set of images that are available through a customized front end, but then also specialized annotation environments or search environments. And if every site uses the same APIs, one begins to see a fantastic ecosystem of both content and technology that is interoperable across the entire ecosystem. The vision for IIIF is to create a global framework where any image-based resource, image, a book, map, a scroll, etc., from any participating institution can be delivered in a standard way via any compatible image server to any compatible application on the web to any user globally. That's what we seek to create. With the demonstrations that you'll see from my colleagues in just a little bit, I think you'll see examples of this. As you step back and look at what IIIF might offer to those of us in the research community, I believe there are 2 things. First, IIIF dramatically reduces the friction of delivering image-based resources on the web. It's faster, easier, more performant, and with more software, you can publish your images once and be used across the entire ecosystem, and it supports attribution and access control. Beyond that, IIIF creates radical new capabilities to interact with images, to more than just view them. You can zoom, pan, interact, and manipulate the images. You can compare, reunite, and mash them up. You can cite, you can share, you can annotate, and in an exciting new development, you can begin to apply machine learning and artificial intelligence. And now my colleague Sheila Rabin will give more details about how IIIF works.